But it's not always like that. It's not always like that. It's what we associate for the holidays. It doesn't always happen for their children. And of course, the key of it from piggybacking on what Pam said is the experience, the ability to understand, and the reason of communication, which is one that. So that's that. The other way. We are experiencing technical difficulties. Okay. Lack of communication. I'm not feeling the coding being left out. Like, that's a really much. Now, when we start, right, where we can establish that we need do something different, we need something to include in that kid. Where do we start? Look around you. Look around your house and ask yourself this following question. Is your house deaf friendly? Have you ever thought about a deaf friendly house? Will anyone walking into your house know that a deaf person is there? It is important because it gives the child a message, the message of inclusion. I am accepted, it's okay. I am from a different culture, although I am born to this family. My culture is respected. My culture is incorporated into this family. So walking into the house, do people realize that there's a deaf person living there? Is your house deaf friendly, accessible to your own child? Do you have the closed caption on all the time? When the phone rings, does he know? You might think that, well, it doesn't matter, he can hear anyway. But there's again the inclusion. If you have a VP, the VP has your own splasher, but if the deaf child is in one part of the house, you don't have any way of, he would have no way of knowing that the P is flashing when on the phone, you can be in your living room and the phone rings in the bedroom and you're able to hear it. So have people accessibility to that. Does the child know, how does the child know he or she is welcome? Does he know what's happening? Does he know what's happening? There's somebody that's at the door that there's a fire in the other room. It's just a simple fact.
I'm going to give you 2 examples. My experience is, let's suppose I'm Jewish. My family celebrated Hanukkah, and we have many family members come, about 10 people. We have a big table set up, and I'd be sitting there, and I tend to have the candle set up on the table. But it blocked my vision. I wasn't able to lip read or understand my family members at all. There's just one simple thing that's pretty important. And sometimes I have to make sure that you want to make sure that the kids have visual access. Maybe some of their friends are hard of hearing and they don't know sign language. It's very party. Maybe if they're hard of hearing, that they don't understand the way that the deaf communications as well. If they're watching TV with their family, and it's an older TV, and there's no closed captioning on that TV, they'll turn it on really loud, and other family members are complaining about the noise. So then you have to tone it down, and it's not accommodating their needs. You have to understand both perspectives, okay? But now, my friends, their self-esteem has been low because they haven't been accommodated. Other people, they should be able to accommodate both the hearing and deaf world. It's really important to be able to accommodate each other and work with each other in that situation. Like I said, it's just the simple things that count, and then your child will know that they're accepted and welcome in your family. You don't have to tell them, oh, you are welcome in the family. You should show it to them. It's really simple as that.
Deaf children follow what they see. This is a very issue. Because just this morning I was reading an article, and it said that deafness is not the ability the inability to hear. Deafness is the visual experience. And when we look at it that way, and we orient ourselves from there, then then we're going to look at. And you have, okay, this is some of the advice, some of the recommendations. Doubles the flashes, the phone ringer that flashes for the phone or for the EP, for the same reason I just explained. The child will be a different part of the house, should be able to know that the phone is ringing, just like you do. Have the closed captioning on the TV on all the time. Have a knock, is a knock flasher. I mean, you know the knock flashers? You know, it's a little thing like this that is different than the doorbell that you put on behind the door, and when somebody knocks, it flashes. And a lot of, I haven't seen it in a lot of the houses. That's something that they remember to do the doorbell outside, but they don't remember that in the child where the child is, in the child's room, they have nothing. So, who's familiar with deaf art? Who's seen deaf art? Right. Deaf art is a very subtle and very cool way to feel the child be accepted, because that's part of their culture. It just is a bridge to something else, a culture outside of the environment or their house. Watch movies. Watch movies that could be deaf oriented. There's a list of them. You know, Amy, Harris, A Lonely Hunter, and your name is Johan. Love is Never Silent, and you are Children of Earth God. The first couple of movies were made for TV, so it may be hard to find. But that incorporates and shows deafness in a positive light. Okay? And then you can check on ASO Films, that's deaf all the time company. Deaf Corner. Deaf Corner.
Deaf Corner. How's the best way to explain it? Okay, suppose you have a corner full of activities where your deaf child has access to, easy access to that corner. Maybe you have games, or you have you have movies set up, the TV set up there in the corner, and that way they can watch TV with their family members as well, their cousins, their nieces, their nephews, and things like that. But maybe sometimes they feel left out because they have a large family and they're not able to accommodate everyone in the family. If your child feels left out, you should show them that you have a deaf corner for them. That is accessible for them. Make sure that it's in the main area of the house where other people are being active and involved in there too, and that way they'll be able to join it as well.
Be creative, and again, the message is inclusion.
I remember growing up celebrating Hanukkah and Passover and different holidays, you know, and around when I was about teenager years, around 11, 12, 13, around there, and, you know, I was thinking, what is this all about? I didn't understand the meaning of the holidays. Your parents, as parents, you should go ahead and explain ahead of time what this holiday means. Why is it important to you and your family and your culture? You know, why is this a tradition? Why is this important to them? Be able to explain all this to them. If you have limited communication and accessibilities, go ahead and use a book with pictures or draw, whatever you can. Then your child will be able to visualize and see that my parents, wow, they're really trying. You know, they're really trying to help and involve me, and I feel more accepted. If something happens in the family, explain that to your child. Suppose, let's see. I remember one day, I remember what happened. I was about, let's say, I was about 9 years old, and we were celebrating Hanukkah. Okay, I was, you know, it's like the third night of Hanukkah. My family had the TV on. We were sitting there. My parents were nervous. They didn't know what was happening. They know that deaf kids are very, very visual, and they use their facial expressions a lot. So I'm sitting there at home, and I remember this clearly. I saw my parents, and you know, my family hadn't arrived yet. I knew that right before that my parents were in a car accident. I knew it wasn't serious, but I had no idea what was really going on. It was easier for my parents to sit me down on the TV for me to focus on that rather than what was going on.
It's not my parents' intentions.
Oh, sorry, thank you.
My parents' intentions to me, you're not.
Thank you. A good way to make sure that your child feels included in the family with them is to go ahead and plan ahead of time. Ask them, you know, your uncles and aunts and cousins, do you want to invite them? What kind of activities do you think we should do? And how they'll go about doing that, you know, what kind of activities. And that way you can include them as well somehow.
And one thing is that the importance of also of making sure that your child knows the history of your family, the recent family history. Because sometimes you might be inviting, you know, people over, and aunts and uncles, and so you invite the uncle. And if the uncle shows up without his wife, and so that their child not knowing that they got divorced, might go up to the uncle and go to wife, you know, and or have some kind of events like that, knowing that there was tension. Maybe there's an argument between two people, and you know that those two people are not getting along, they're kind of putting up with each other to be in the same house, and then the child, oh, you come right with us. You inviting one of the, it's just kind of create a very uncomfortable situation for them. And then again, that's not knowing, but knowing.
Okay, and also, allow the kids to help out as well. Involve them in activities, planning the food preparation, helping to cook it as well. You go shopping with them, take them shopping with you. It's the little things that really count with your kids.
Okay. Keep your child updated. Different plans. You know, we don't want to. We explain to them we're going to go to the movies, but all of a sudden we can't turn down, or all of a sudden somebody else cannot make it. So explain what's happening to them as they go along. The children they keeping them knowledgeable of what's happening will reduce some of the anxiety, will make them feel included, and be able to pick up on what's happening. Reward the siblings for including them. Now, there's a difference between reward and forcing them. We don't want to force the siblings because this has to be an enjoyable experience for everybody. Encourage the sibling. If you see a sibling interpreting for their child, you go ahead and praise them. Good job. Thank you for including them. Or if you see a sibling doing something, maybe calling the deaf child, just praise the sibling for doing that, and then creating a sense of community.